As the farm to fork concept has grown, farmers are used to hearing from chefs on what they like and what will make a great dish. For example, the Four and Cinema restaurant in San Francisco has garnered local, national, and international acclaim as a quintessentially San Francisco dining experience, all thanks to their flair for keeping the menu local and fresh. A list of seasonally inspired fare is what restaurant legends are made of. But as any good chef will tell you, they are nothing without their ingredients.
The menu is really from just a lot of local farmers around here. It's what you do in this area. It's the only thing we know how to do. So we do write the menu every day, and we're opening boxes and trying to figure out how to get that on the menu that night.
After watching her work and listening to her talk about the nuances of local flavors, anything in the hands of Gail could be turned into a culinary masterpiece. But at the top of today's menu is watermelon. That's right, the once picnic staple is now moving into more and more white tablecloth eateries as more people discover it is an important meal component, not just a colorful garnish.
We find that it's just very refreshing to pair watermelon with something savory like a salad because it's very refreshing, and we just had a big heat wave and it was very temperature dropping food. It just helps people cool down.
While the traditional large seeded varieties are still the standard in the industry, there is evidence that chefs and consumers are beginning to want something different.
For me, it's hard for me to buy a big watermelon. I don't have a place to store it, so I usually I get a half.
And now farmers are listening, not only to chefs but consumers as well, as they grow produce to match a demand for smaller, sweeter fruits. And in a world of supersized menus, some fruit are actually shrinking, which is apparent at the Hammond Ranch in Fresno County. Here, small, round watermelons about the size of cantaloupes are now being bred to match the declining size of the average American household and a taste for something new.
We understand the public's looking for convenience, and there's nothing more convenient than these personalized watermelons. They're so easy to store, and they store for a lengthy period of time. So I think it's the future.
And while the watermelons may be small, the harvest is a big one. And what amounts to a giant Easter egg hunt, some of the most skilled eyes and hands in the business scour the green vines looking for signs of ripeness.
Well, the watermelon, being a striped melon, changes color as it develops, and these folks have a trained eye to know when the color is just right, and I think some of them actually can tell by the stem development. It'll turn a little as it gets ripened and higher in sugar.
The mini watermelons that thrive at Mark's farm are part of a resurgence in the whole industry. Consumers are now snatching up nearly 83 million pounds of the fruit a year, which is exactly why Mike and other growers were approached by the Orange County-based farm Dulcinea to grow the new melons, as well as other exciting and different fruits and vegetables that the public was demanding.
The thought process behind the development of Dulcinea Farms was, in the beginning, we looked at produce, the category of produce, and asked consumers what they were most dissatisfied with. And based on their answers, we took the 13 products that they were most dissatisfied with from a consumer standpoint, and we went back to our parent company Syngenta and asked us what type of products could they provide that really brought those consumer attributes back to the category.
And what they came up with was a first: demographic demand agriculture. Instead of farmers picking what and why to grow the crops they did, consumers were now dictating choices. And today, Dulcinea-based farmers are growing specific items like smaller produce, sweeter fruits, and longer-lasting vegetables, all to meet consumer demand. In addition to the personal-sized Pure Heart watermelons and a Tuscan-style cantaloupe, Dulcinea is also experimenting with a new type of tomato, Rosso Bruno tomato.
Well, the obvious thing that differentiates this tomato from other tomatoes is the color, first of all. Then, secondly, it does have a much richer, deeper flavor that is completely different from another standard tomato.
At Casey's greenhouses just outside of Oxnard, you'll find the typical Roma tomatoes on the vine, but you'll also see another Dulcinea product, the uniquely flavorful and colorful Rosso Bruno tomato. It's a meatier, sweeter, and yes, browner version of its redder counterparts.
So the key here is to eat it when it's ripe. Now, traditionally we would think it's got to be red. Rosso Bruno has to be kind of a tinge of red, brown, green color on it, and then you hit that perfect flavor that is very unique to this particular variety.
Popular in Europe, this brown tomato is now available year-round in the States, proving the demand is up for something that defies our thought of what a tomato should look like. And while brown tomatoes and some diminutive-sized fruit may have seemed a little far-fetched a few years back, they're now part of a new trend in agriculture as farmers and chefs learn what consumers want, one bite of homegrown food at a time. So now you're probably wondering what to do with all those watermelons, right? Well, we've got an expert right here, Elaina Kroll from Dulcinea Farms.
Thank you, Tracy.
What are we going to see today?
Well, I was thinking we should, kids, we need to have healthier snacks for kids these days. We really need something that's fun for them, and I thought we could go through just some great snack ideas and activities even that we can do with fruit.
That I can even do.
You could even do.
Oh, right.
You could even do. So let's go ahead. This is for you. You get one, I get one. We just went ahead and cut a round of watermelon here.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is kind of a beautiful fruit arrangement.
Oh, that's
And we
cute.
have cookie cutter shapes. And so not only does it make it something fun to eat for the kids, but it's an activity
That's
too.
great.
That they
Oh,
get
yeah,
to come
down to
over
work.
here.
I believe
Exactly.
in
And it's a
that.
lot easier than
Nice.
dough and whatnot. So beautiful.
Now, of course, this is the masterpiece.
This is the masterpiece. This is, even better than Halloween.
Cute.
Oh, I like that. I like that. You're going good.
Oh, it's like a little smirk.
It's a little smirk.
Watermelon toupee. Thanks. Well, this is great. You had great recipes. Thank you so much.
Goodness, you're so welcome. And if you want to see any more recipes, dulcinea.com, we have plenty listed for viewing.
Definitely.
So, wonderful.